Morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, but I still got plenty to work on today. I'm going to be practicing the exercise called Jeepers again. So all these practice streams, there's over 400 of them, have timestamps in the description showing what I was talking about or what I was practicing. Now, because I've been drumming for almost 30 years, and because I have a bachelor's, master's, PhD in music education, people will often come to my various chats on my other monitor and will ask me questions about how to improve as a drummer or as an educator. In this drumming tips playlist, I've edited down many of those answers I provided and put them into over 100 videos with over 14 hours of free tips answering your questions. The first thing that I talk about is whatever the title is, so tips for memorizing music and drumming tip number 59. But if it says and other drumming tips or and other teaching tips, that means there are more tips in there in the timestamps that might not at all be related to the title. So you might want to check the timestamps if the title is not interesting to you. Now, I need to get motivated here from Shia LaBeouf. So Shia LaBeouf is going to help me to get into the mindset to practice. Shia, help me out. I don't really want to drum today. Do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh, wow, Shia LaBeouf, I can't speak. I am tired of starting over. I will stop giving up. Thank you so much for the words of wisdom there. Now, the link that's above me right here, if you're on the vertical, at the top, jaredoleary.com/drum. This is linked at the top of every one of the thousands, plural, of free exercises that are on my YouTube channel's home tab. The website just organizes it neater than I can on YouTube. So, for example, we've got 62 chop exercises at the top of the page. If you're doing rudimental drumming, like I have a background in, then you might want to spend some time there. There's also over 1,000 grid variations. You heard that right, over 1,000. There's 419 for triplet, there's 577 for 16th note, and then there's 36 wacky ones for like Herta grid or taps only grid, etc. I've also got a bunch of limb independence exercises in here. So there's all these timing exercises. And then there's the straight charts and the swung charts. There's 55 charts that you can practice sight reading. And then every single one of those playlists links to this video, how to develop limb independence on the drum kit. So if you're not sure how to work on your limb independence using these exercises, check out the second video on every one of the playlists. There's 476 marching bass drum exercises. There's a bunch of drumline cadences in score format, so you can see all of the parts. There's also 386 technique exercises, so you can work on your endurance and speed. You can work on your stick control. You can work on your 3 and 4 strokes, whatever you want. Just pick a playlist, and then there's a bunch of exercises usually in each one of these. And then down here is over 14 hours of free drumming tips and whatnot. So the ones right here are all scripted lessons where I spent some time working on it. And then right here is 14 hours of drumming tips that will keep you busy for a while. If you see a video that says members first, it's scheduled to release for free. There's over 400 of them, so it might take, over a year and a half until you can hear it or see it, but it'll come out for free. Or just pay the 99 cents, and then you get early access to them. But I promise they're all coming out for free. Guess what time it is? It's time for a virtual high five. You're welcome. Okay, we're going to warm up and work on a 16th note diddle exercise. It's called Jeepers. Jeepers Creepers. It's inside of that 16th note diddle variations playlist. That is on the technique section. We're going down to Jeepers. And we last left off at a very blurry tempo. There we go. We last left off at what speed? Hour and 3 minutes into it. 60. All right, cool. So we're going to warm up for 5 reps. We'll stretch and massage, and then we'll continue the grind. Speeding this up. Do I ever throw flams on this one? I haven't actually written out anything for that. That'd be interesting. There's a shopping spree variation of this. There's also an accent tap variation of this exercise. And then Glim yesterday on the gaming stream was actually recommending another variation. My timing is off. So I'm writing that out. What are you thinking for the flams? Like, you could put it on the accent, you could put it before the accent, you could put it after the accent. You could do wackier stuff like flam on all taps. Yeah, we'll do all 2,000 exercises off left. Yeah, huh. Trying to think like what other flam variations you could do. You'd obviously put like flam on one or something. That would actually be really funny. I mean, it is the same thing. But then on the show, like all the book would be like off the right, so then it'd sound bad because they're not used to playing it off the right. Actually, there's a spree. It's currently not available publicly, but in the unlisted play-alongs that I've got, these are all going to be coming out soon. Just waiting for some finalization on here, but there's a lot of really cool sprees. Ton of Blue Devils ones, so Blue Devils 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 98 for Blue Devils B. 99 and 2000 are already available. There's Blue Devils 2003, 2004, Blue Knights Percussion Ensemble 2011, FSU 99, RCC 2007, and Sacramento Freelancers 2000. But this one, RCC 2007, it actually starts off the left. So the very first beginning of it starts off the left hand. So it's an interesting shopping spree. And thank you, Glenn, for the transcription for it. So stay tuned. This will come out. So we actually will have an exercise that starts off the left in the future. Because I don't want those to like wait like the 400 and some odd days until like the next open slot on the play-alongs. I'm going to like move some stuff around and make it so that they actually come out early. So it should be hopefully in the next month or so. Stay tuned. I guess you could always freeze frame it and see that particular spree if you wanted to. Anyways, we're stretching the side of the form. Now I'm going to go back here. Whee! And now I'm going to stretch the underside of the form. So you could do it like this one at a time like I did on the drum kit stream yesterday. I'm going to do it on the wall. The lower you go, the deeper the stretch on this one. Don't put all your weight into it. Ooh, yeah. That felt great. Now I'm going to stretch the top side of the form. So you could do it one at a time like this. You could do this one on your leg or on your pad. Or you could do it on the wall. The higher you go, the deeper the stretch. Again, don't put all your weight into it. The last one, stretching thumb to thumb. Stretchy stretch. Yeah. So my wife will ask just kind of like goofy questions. Like one of them is, what's the most practical superpower? And she insists that it's super stretchiness. So you can like reach high stuff. Or like, oh, you forgot something and it's cold. But you want to stay in bed, you can super stretchy your arms and go grab it. And that is practical. But I also think that teleportation is the most practical. Like, I really want to go to Japan one day. I could save myself like 16 hours of flying time and a couple of hours in the airport if I could just teleport there. Or just like a commute, which I haven't had in several years, thankfully. But back when I did, like, it was at least an hour one way. That would have saved me a couple hours a day. Teleportation would be insanely practical. Yeah, I mean, especially if you could go like really fast and just like teleport, grab a thing like this really high up in the air, and then just teleport back down to where you're at. I think that's the most practical, but you know, she strongly disagrees. That's funny. That's funny. Right? See? Yeah, you could just teleport straight to it. It'd be great. But you could even like limit it to be like you could only teleport to places you've been to. So it's like, okay, I gotta fly to Japan one way, one time, 16 hours, and then I can like teleport back there, like instant transmission style, like Goku. Be great. If accurate teleportation existed, it would not include your clothing. I mean, if it pays the bills. Now I'm gonna massage the back side of the hand with the fingers and massage the top side with the thumb. Yeah, I mean, there's I forget the name of it. It was a friend and colleague of mine when I was doing my residency. He showed me this comic strip that was like about how teleportation in reality you're just actually like dying and then having somebody else completely different like being rebuilt that is just like a copy of you. And it was like, it just made me like rethink about like a teleportation, like a portal kind of thing, and how it like just like deatomizes you and then like rebuilds you from the ground up, but it's not actually you, it's like a completely different person. And it's like, well, that's a sad way to look at teleportation. Thanks for ruining that for me. All right, base to tip. Each one of the fingers at least 2 times. Just trying to get relaxed. My hands feel decent today. So while working on Jeepers, my goal is to like get my thumb contact point on my left hand to match my right hand better. We're not there yet. So the other day when I did that data collection, when I went up by 5 clicks every single time, it like slowly just kind of felt it more, the contact point moving towards the top or the tip of the thumb. So while doing it, instead of like the contact point being flat like this, what's happening, this is like a way exaggerated version, is it's like going like this. Nowhere close to that bad, but I'm feeling just a little bit like that, where it's like lifting up on the backside here and putting more contact point, more pressure up on the front rather than a distribution here. And so that's what I'm focusing on while working on this. So we're just going like one click at a time. And last time we started at 40 and we got up to 60, and now we're starting at 60. And we'll get up to maybe like 3,000 BPM today. Stay tuned. Depends on how many questions I answer. Maybe 4,000. Who knows? Okay. Ready? Okay. How funky is your chicken? Pretty funky. My hands feel so much better. I'm so focused on that my left thumb that my right taps were a little high. So sorry. Well, thank you. Well, okay, so let's see. So you're saying that if you're able to actually freeze time, that it frees you too, and your consciousness. So what if you could freeze time, like from the comic book sense, and like you would still keep going, but like would you just like age like super rapidly compared to everybody else? So like let's say you froze time and you only did it like in 5-minute chunks, etc. But you did it like, I don't know, like 6 times a day or something like that, 20 times a day, 50 times a day, just for little moments where you needed to use it. But would you just like at like 20, you were actually like 30 years old because you like froze time so much, but like your cells were still aging, like your telomeres were like shortening, things like that. But like everybody else around you was like frozen, they were like preserved basically. So you just be like a really old person when you're like 40. Is that what would happen? That would not be fun. I can't like imagine like needing, like what would be the use case for like where I'd want to freeze time on a regular basis. Like I could see like, yeah, to like stop the bullet, but like how often are you in shootouts? Like I don't know about you, but I'm only in like once a week or so. So not as practical. Practical superpower would be being able to not need sleep. I would, if there was a pill that did that, if I got back 8 hours a day, ooh, the things that I could do, oh, it'd be great. alarm's going off. Stop that, phone. Stop that. Get some help. Or is it stop it? Get some help. Try to remember. I gotta turn off the comments on the Instagram before. I was curious, so I went and I looked at the what's it called, the Academy video that you're talking about, and there was like one person who was like definitely being like a troll with it. But what was interesting is like if you click on their name, it actually showed what I assume were the held comments, the comments that were held for review, because like it didn't actually show the replies, but it showed like them taking the toxicity to a whole nother level, and I was just like, yikes, this person, stop that, get some help. Some people. Comments, what? Who can comment? There we go. People I follow, which is nobody. Which is no offense to anyone, I just don't use Instagram, sorry. I don't swipe on the gram. Too much sugar. Why does it keep, like, the video, it's like, yeah, let's just do a preview of the ending, where it shows all the, what's it called? Playlist thumbnails and whatnot. Cool. Sorry about that. Let's go. Oh, that's interesting. So, what about if you stepped on matter? Like, everywhere you went, would it just destroy everything? That's so goofy that it's like putting Streamlabs as #1. Like, why? It's a literal bot. I do. So, like, let's say, let's take this to the next extreme. So, if everything that you touched when you froze time would destroy that matter, so every single molecule, so wherever you stepped, wherever you went, etc., but also everything that you interacted with in the air. So there's the wind resistance. I'm feeling it when I'm doing this. So if I am freezing time enough, like how long until it would actually like get rid of enough of like the atmosphere and like Earth's oxygen supply, etc., or like create a problem? Like, would I have to do it for like 100,000 years? Would I have to do it for like 1,000 years, etc.? Sorry, we're getting nerdy, which is uncharacteristic for me. I'm not a nerd at all. Oh, interesting. So would you have to have a super suit to make you have gravity? Or if you could like toggle it, kind of like a brake when it breaks, it's like going like this, on off. So you could like still have gravity. So like time would go like super slow, but you wouldn't float off. So it wouldn't be like a full stop. Yeah, I'm still feeling the contact point being different on my left thumb. I made a micro adjustment and it made that roll section sound not good. Whoopsies! Yeah, the water would like go away. You'd have to avoid water. Just creating like whirlpools. How come you've never seen me play actual drum set? I have no idea what you're talking about. I just played it yesterday. I do it every other day. Oops. Yeah, so nobody on the home tab. If you scroll down all the way to here, we've got the 14 hours of drumming tips, all the lessons. There's over 400 live streams on here. See? Today, yesterday, the day before, drum kit, pad, drum kit, pad, drum kit, drum kit, drum kit, drum kit, pad, drum kit, pad, drum kit, drum kit, pad, drum kit, pad, drum kit, pad, drum kit, drum kit, pad. So that's why I'm like, what? Nani? Doesn't compute to me. It's the algorithm. It doesn't want you to see me practice limb independence. YouTube's like, no. Only pad work. Is my goal to get all the way to the maximum BPM today? No. The goal is to get to 3,000 beats a minute. One click at a time. We're almost there. But then one day, we'll get to 9,000, and then people will be like, it's over 9,000 BPM. Late. That is true. It is much easier. It would get exponentially less time in between each reps. I should actually do that. So like, you know how the April Fools next year is Susie at 1 BPM? But I could do it like Susie at like 1,000 BPM. So I'm noticing a pattern. I'm gonna play it one more rep, see if it's still there. I would, but I'd have to like stitch it together because Sibelius doesn't allow me to export beyond like a certain amount of hours. So like if you go back to on my home tab, if you go to the limb independence section, scroll down to like in here, the charts. The reason why I've got charts from 40 to 59, then 60 to 99, then 100 to 159, and then 160 to 240, as opposed to from 40 all the way up to 240. The reason why is because when you like actually go into these videos, they're like 4.5 hours long. I think some of them go like 5 hours long, but there's a certain limit where Sibelius exports the video without audio. Yes, this is 5.5 hours long. If it goes like beyond 6 hours or something, it will not export the audio. It'll just export like a video that's completely mute. So that's why I have to have these like playlists for different BPMs. But what I wanted was like I don't know, 15, 20 hour video that's just like 40 BPM all the way up to 240. But it won't allow me to do that. If Sibelius fixed that, then I would totally like create play-alongs that were just like one chunk all the way from start to finish going through it. But I actually can't do that. Have you seen those super rigid metal balls that bounce forever? No. Are they like a super bouncy ball? Like the rubber ones I think of, but a metal one, we should get one of those and like put it as like the tip of like a drumstick, and then it's like bing 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 bing, bing, and then instead of doing blast beats, you just like How do you make the increasing BPM play-alongs in Sibelius? Are you actually copying the entire exercise? Yes, it's one giant file that's like 1,000 pages long or however many. Well, I think the longest one I did was like 8,000 pages. It was for the slow, fast, slow stuff. So if you like scroll, like here's fast, slow, fast, which is kind of like a variation of this. So this one's actually 6.5 hours. Every single BPM change that you see is a different page on here. So it's like, I think it's over 8,000 pages to do that. But yeah, I manually have to do that in Sibelius. And what really stinks is the way that it's like the memory works on Sibelius is the further back into the play along you get, the slower it goes for the copy and paste. So like it's like super tedious. Like some of the exercises, like the timing transition stuff that's like under the technique section, if there's anything that's not like just your normal 16th note like duple patterns, as soon as you get into like the weird like 5/4 things like that, it takes longer to actually cut and paste. So what happens when I get further into here, like when I get towards like, I don't know, over 100 BPM, and then especially when I get towards the latter part close to 200, it'll take like literally several minutes just to paste like a rep of stuff. So what I'll end up doing is I'll like hit Control V and then like walk away and go do chores, and then I'll like come back, like go over to the next one for the next BPM, hit Control V, and then like walk over. And it's like, it's terrible like how long it takes. Or I'll just like sit there with my phone on and just go on Duolingo and Control V, then we'll like learn Japanese. Or we'll go on like the drumline subreddit and we'll like respond to a thing. Well, I'm on a different computer, so I have like two different computers, and like one of them will be like doing the copy and paste, and then the other one is just like me responding to something on Reddit. So usually when I'm actually replying to something on Reddit, it's when something is exporting or it's copying and pasting on Sibelius like in the background. which is like why I will like respond to a lot of things. It's because I'm literally just working on Sibelius. We're bouncing a video or something. There's a video where they have a bounce meter on one called the atomic trampoline. Bounce faster is called the coefficient of restitution. Huh. Yeah, I kind of want to see that on a drumstick now. Like, instead of like Hardeman hammers, it's like the Hardeman, what would they be? Perpetual motion sticks. Like, it just keep going forever and ever. That'd be funny. So like this kind of exercise is actually fairly easy to make because it doesn't have a lot of rhythm changes. But if it were to change meters like in some of the shopping sprees or change rhythms, it takes forever. Especially if I have to like reformat it. So if I have another exercise that's the exact same length as this, the same format, 2 for every line, it's easier to make. But as soon as I have to like add or remove measures, oh, it just takes forever. Because I have to reformat every single page. And so like I use the keyboard shortcuts to like press Alt and it pulls up the menu. Press like B, pulls up this other menu. Like, takes forever. But I just like will put on a podcast or a movie or something. So it's not like terrible. It's just tedious. And then I'll make less than $1 on a play along that took hours to make. But, you know, eventually it'll make like $2, maybe a few years from now. Skip a BPM, you're gonna donate $10? Well, see, unfortunately, you forgot that I am kind of like a djinn, so I will skip BPM. I just went back down 5 clicks. Mwahahahahaha. Save your money, Tyler. to 85. Whoa! Too fast. Too furious. Whoop. It feels good playing at these slow speeds. It feels so fast. Making that jump. Cool. Hello. How you doing, Martin? Oh no. Yeah, that contact point on the thumb is still something to work on. You just got off work? Nice. It's always a good feeling. You have to restart the video if you tick challenge? That's funny. I would have to not be talking, not replying to chat. Just full focus mode. Back when I was the center for Academy, and then the center who was after me for Academy, there was like the legends were that like neither of us ever made a tick, and like the one time that Wes made him a tick, he like got so mad that he broke a stick in half. Like these were like the rumors that like would be spread about it, and it's like no, we also make mistakes. It's just it might not be like a full on stop and like forget what we're playing, but like we're still making little mistakes here and there. So there's like this weird mythos that gets to like it's just people like have this unrealistic expectation of like what people can do. Josh, hello. Get to 100? I mean, we'll get there. We started at 40. We're getting there. We can play way faster than 100. After a healthy American lunch yesterday, decided to have broccoli and fruit. Well, hey, making progress on the health stuff. You did Hertos for 45 minutes one time. I did we were on the tour bus one year, I did a roll for the entire Dave Chappelle season, the first season for the Chappelle show. We just like put on the DVDs and I just like sat there and played a roll. Like, I wonder if I could go through the whole season. I could. It took forever. You still have to try and convince your students that you mess up? Yeah, that's why I'd like to do these streams to show like, hey, I still do it. You played snare for your drumline? Nice. I marched snare. I marched it in high school, college, DCI. I've got thousands of exercises that can help your snare. Today's kind of a weird day for my schedule. I gotta make sure I end on time. In fact, we're gonna chop out now. So I'll show you where you can find more exercises that you can work on your snare drum. On my home tab, beep, beep, beep. We've got a bunch of chop exercises. So you can work on shopping sprees, you can work on chug variations, whatever. There's over 1,000 grid variations. There's so many you have to click to actually show all of them. There's a bunch. Just focus on rudiment on one, what I'd recommend. There's a bunch of limb-independent stuff. That's what I was practicing yesterday. We'll play that tomorrow as well. There's almost 500 marching bass drum exercises. There's a bunch of drumline cadences. There's almost 400 technique exercises. The one that I was just working on, that we were starting slow with, was inside of this 16th note diddle variations right here, this playlist. This one has a bunch of different videos inside of there. There's over 14 hours of drumming tips in here from when people have asked questions on live streams. There's some scripted lessons, like if you play snare drum, if you do traditional grip, there's a video on how to hold traditional grip right here. So you can see what I recommend as a former center snare for different drum lines and whatnot. So if you're interested in that. But we just worked on grinding out, improving. Switch to quads instead. You know, I haven't done a quad stream in a while. I need to do that again. I've been slacking with that. We're going to chop out, though. Let's chop out with something fun. Let's do... I haven't played this one in a while, but we're going to do Flammus. Now, this one is very different than all the other thousands of play-alongs. This one doesn't show all of the music because of copyright. So Murray Gussick is the composer of this and Cheesy Poofs, which I also have play-alongs for. But it's for sale on Tapspace. So when I reached out to Murray, I was like, hey, I'd like to create a play-along so people could practice and improve, blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, you're still selling it on your website. So how about I make it like this, where you can hear it and practice to it, but you still got to, like, actually go to the website to get the music for it. So that's why we've got it there. So I'm going to try this one, looks that way. You're very welcome, Edgar. There's literally thousands of exercises, but check out the drumming tips playlist. That's got a ton of stuff to help you with your playing. So we've answered a bunch of questions, over 14 hours of questions from different people. See how it's still playing it? So you can still practice. Cool. Now, if this is too fast for you, don't worry, I got you. This one can go as slow as 20 beats a minute. One click at a time faster. We're going to go until my arms burst into flames. I'm going to jump up by tens because I'm chopping out. But normally, what I recommend if you're working on technique, just go up one click at a time. Now, sometimes, some years, they'd also play it with an eighth note right here, so just a single right hand, and then after the tap, you go into the paradiddle, diddle, diddle. But paradiddle diddle 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 tongue twister. I chose to go with the original notation where it's a 5 strokes. Or whatever you want to play. That was weird. There's like a jump in the chat. It like refreshed my vertical. Sometimes it does that when YouTube bans a troll. It would also do that when I used to have Facebook chat up. It would like flash when it was like banning somebody. It was weird. Let's see. Your left hand sort of dies out before I get to the full diddles. The space in the hand opens up too much. Interesting. So you're like slurring out the diddles? Is that what's going on? Playing on a loop at 120 while focusing on it versus trying to workshop something. So, I mean, there's many different ways. There's like really no right or wrong way to practice. It depends on what the issue is. Like some days one tool will work, and other days a different tool will work. That's just like a normal part of like refining your own playing or teaching. What I like to do is like use this moment to like play stuff fast and then figure out, okay, well, what was tight, what was slurred, what was rushed, etc. What was basically off with the playing, and then I'll go back and refine it and slow it back down to like 40 and just go up one click at a time, really focusing on that. Like what I was doing with like working on Jeepers when I was playing it, starting at a slow speed. Like the reason why I was doing it is because the other day, 4 days ago, when I did the first stream with it, when I was playing it, like it's even doing it there. When I was playing it faster, I was noticing the contact point here, so I was just using the data collection to like figure out what to do to work on, and then I went back and refined it. Or you could sit there and try and like work it at the tempo, the double stroke. Like left, 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 left. Doesn't have juice to get the full diddle. I'm trying to think which part you're referring to. Which measure? Are you talking about after the flam tap? Because that's the 3-stroke technically. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I might need to see like the playing to give some feedback on that one. I don't know though. Do you know?
Yes.
Oh, will you share?
No.
Oh, my wife won't share. Sorry. Whoa! Come back here. Hey! No, don't jump up to that. Any left-handed flam drag, the left hand plays with a bit more of a drop. Interesting. Hey, thank you, Josh. Any relation to Paul Rennick? 120 now. My mouse just like brought up the inspection elements. Don't do that, silly mouse. This is why I gotta like set it over here. Okay, so that was 120. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with that. Any left-handed flam drag. So like, so the right-hand diddle is slurring out? Or are you saying the diddle on a right-handed flam drag, but at the left-handed diddle? Yeah, I'm not sure. Have you tried like recording yourself and then slowing it down to figure it out? So like I'll often do that. Where I'll like record myself like the full camera like this, and then I'll like pull it up on stream and like analyze it to figure out, okay, well, what could I do to improve it? Speaking of, let's try this at 1:30. Let's figure out what I need to do to improve it. It's the right-handed flam drag because it's a left diddle. Yeah, I don't know. You just got to be born with it. You just got to get good, bro. No, I don't actually know. I'm not sure. Does it do it like, is it the flam? Like if you were to play just like get rid of the grace note and just play tap drags, like would that sound okay and feel okay? Good morning, Jeffrey. You figured out that the problem is you're using more finger in your left hand to taps and the space opens up too much. Interesting. Yeah, when I'm playing like diddles like these, I'm using a controlled rebound. So I'm not finger stroking this. I'm not doing that. And especially if you're talking about traditional, I'm not like thumbing that. That's not how I focus. So it's a controlled rebound. Whenever I'm playing, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, so one of the make up an exercise for it then, and like refine it. So, think of like something like this. So like bump, 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 but then put a diddle on the release. Do that like 4 or 8 times on the right hand, and then do it as a double stop, and then do it on the left, and try and figure out like when you're playing it together, really getting that left hand to match as a double stop, and then you can like look at and analyze what are my hands doing mechanically when you're doing it as a double stop together. So just come up with like an exercise that just breaks it down. Like that's one of the things that when I knew that it was going to be my last year teaching at the drumline, because like I was doing my residency and it was too much like working on the doctorate while teaching the drumline. So the whole year I just was like, all right, I'm going to teach you how to teach yourselves, because I don't know who your instructor is going to be and like how often they'll be able to show up next year. So like when an issue would come up in the show or in an exercise, I'd be like, all right, let's come up with a couple of different exercises that can like help isolate out and break down this particular problem. So rather than like me doing it like really fast, instead we'd like take that extra time to like, hey, what's 3 different ways that you could clean this thing? So if I've identified, okay, my fingers are a little bit different while doing it, then just break down what the issue is, isolate it out in terms of like what the hands mechanically are doing, and then play them as double stops. You play it all on the right, play it all on the left, etc. You're smart enough, you can problem solve it, come up with some exercises. But something like that might help reveal it and whatnot. But let's try it at 1:30. fast. Why do I play with the heavy sticks? Okay. It didn't fall apart. Let's play with normal sticks. Let's try it. Instead of the hammers, we're gonna play with normal sticks. Oh, they feel so light. Whee! Okay, we're gonna try it faster. Will I be able to play it at 140? No. Are we gonna try it at 140? Yeah. Do it! Yes, you can! These feel so weird. Impromptu dance break. You know, it went better than I thought it would. It feels so weird playing with these light sticks, though. I prefer the heavy ones. Go away, sticks. These sticks that I'm using, if you want to get your own pair of them, you can find them /gear, which is like the second link on most of these. And it's got all these like different things that I recommend, like different books, etc. But the sticks that I practice with are these Hardeman hammers. They're basically for building chops. Don't use them on actual drums. You'll like cause a nuclear explosion. The atoms will collide if you hit a Kevlar head or even a Mylar head. You'll just blast right through it. So let's not do that for national safety and whatnot. Play with normal sticks. But when you're practicing on a pad, you can use these Hardeman hammers. But if you go to the first link, that's on each one of the drumming videos, it takes you to /drum. And this is where you can find 62 chop exercises right here. Like the one that I was just having fun with, Flammus. There's also the Cheesy Poofs variations, but this one also doesn't show you all the music, but all the other thousands do show you the whole thing. We've got over 1,000 grid variations. Organized as neatly as I can on here. A bunch of limb independent stuff. I'll be practicing this tomorrow for about an hour or so. Almost 500 bass exercises, some drumline cadences, almost 400 technique exercises. This is where all the good stuff is, though. The scripted lessons are in the tips and lessons section. That shows you like how to hold traditional grip, etc. But there's over 14 hours of drumming tips inside of this particular playlist. Any video that says members first is scheduled to release for free. There's over 400 of those, so it might be a year and a half or so until some of these come out. Or I guess a little over a year. But if you go into here, there's still over 14 hours of stuff to keep you busy for a while. So it'll come out for free. So don't worry about that. They're not behind a paywall. So Toss, you had these sticks. Interesting. Do you have the Hardeman hammers that you played with? Like on the drumline? Did you like actually play with them on a set of tenors? Because that, I imagine, would like cause the head to just implode on itself. It just like create a little black hole where you hit with the head, and then yeah, you know, all of humanity would get sucked into it. Wow, that's brave. It was a chop out block. Those were some of my favorite things. We usually did it at the end. Like we had a drumline instructor would have us do a roll and stroll, or a stroll and roll, I forget the name of it, where we just like just play a roll, just like straight up, and we just like march around like a whole school that we were staying at, just like work on a chops at the end of like a practice session. Maybe tunes them down. Yeah, I imagine that would be the case, but well, that's good. It didn't explode the head. Yeah, I recommend them for practicing, but I don't recommend them for a drum. They're too heavy. They're like playing with logs. But anyways, I'm going to get ready for that wacky game, Human Fall Flat. Hey, I remember the name this time. Yeah, go me. Woo! High five. If you want to find all these play-alongs and you don't want to go to that link at the top of them, you can just go to my home tab of YouTube. This is where you can find them all. So there's the chop stuff. There's the grid variations, limb independence, marching bass, scores, technique, and then all the drumming tips and whatnot. So lots of content, including gaming stuff, because I'm a nerd. Speaking of, I will jump on the game probably in about 15 or so minutes. So I got to get ready for that. So I got to move all this. But I appreciate everybody stopping in. Appreciate the questions. Tyler, yeah, I'm not sure what other than like helping you to analyze your own playing without seeing it, I'm not sure. Because at that speed, like, there's so many little like nuances that could be going on, and it'd just be a complete guess with Flammus. So, like, I want to help, but yeah, I don't know. It's probably your right big toe. It's too tense, and that's causing your left-handed diddles. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, I'm a doctor. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And if you enjoy this content, share it with somebody else. If you don't enjoy this content, share it with an enemy. Goodbye.